Hey guys, welcome to Stepfans and Chill, the morning show with the late night feel. And I'm your host, Mikey Winfield. Duh. Hey you guys, what a day. Thank you. Thank you, man. I'm watching everything. I'm watching things just generate, things grow right in front of us. And our world, I believe, is moving faster than it's ever moved. And I'm seeing things happen all over the place, and I'm not even gonna waste time today. I'm just gonna jump into this because this is like a feeling, and my feeling is, listen, everybody should not have an OnlyFans, all right? We gotta have limits. Some people think, oh yeah, just because you can get a few subscriptions means you should have it. No, there are some of you with valuable talents where you should be in the world using those, if you're a science teacher, all right? If you teach science and you're good at it, you're like Walter White, you should be out there growing the world's brain in the science department. You could probably advance us farther, all right? Versus coming in there and showing off your little science booty that nobody wants to see. You only got 12 subscribers, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I know a lot of things start from the bottom and they grow. Start from the bottom, but there's more valuable things that can be done. Everyone does not need to have it. And listen, for decades, adult films, they've been America's pastime, back in the day, it wasn't this readily available. A lot of people don't know this, but they used to have these places called rental video stores. Yeah, and what they would have is a little curtain, and you'd have to walk through the curtain. And then they had a lot of the filthy, the naughty films. If you go behind that curtain, ooh, it was freaky back there. They had covers, they had boobs out and stuff. And granted, I wasn't old enough to go in there, but there's always a time when you accidentally went into the wrong part of the rental store and you saw it all. They would have this VHS, and it would have these covers, and they would have horror ones too. They would have bloody ones with girls and the boobs out. Then they would have a romance section. Yeah, all these different sections. And you could rent it. And you normally would get I don't know, I think you would get it depends on where you went. Some places was just a 1-day rental. That is not enough time to get the job done. Then there was, what's the job? And then there were times when it was 3-day rentals. And then if you didn't bring it back, it would be late fees. Now, back in the day, they did not consider how nasty it was to rent a pornographic video after others have had it countless and countless times. What were they doing with these videos? And then you're just touching the cover in the box. Maybe I'm just a little more sensitive to germs, and they weren't going in there behind the curtain with gloves on. Nobody had on OJ's isotoners. They were just using their bare hands and looking through all the porn videos this one looks good. What were they really doing? Were they reading the plot, or were they just looking at the boobs on the front? Hey, were women buying these things too? Were they renting these videos? Hey, that's a real legit question. If you guys are watching, were there women back there maybe getting it to spice up things at home? I'm sure that happened, but I always saw some guy. I always saw some little creeper looking guy walking through the curtain, and he'd get back there and you wouldn't see him again. Because by the time he left, we had already left. They was back there for a while. And it wasn't even, I remember the time I went back there, it wasn't even that much space. So it's not like you could be back there with just others. It sounded like a solo mission. You just back there alone. But back then I will say these things were art, man. Like old school pornography was like artistic. Like the acting, it was like purposely bad. And the scenes were like simple. Like everyone was about a guy he was delivering a pizza. And she didn't have enough money, or, they would be in the woods on a trip, and then it would be an axe murderer, and then it would be all this love stuff, and I know this now because I went back and watched it. I didn't watch it as a kid. I saw a thing here and there by mistake, when you walked in the wrong room and you were like, ah! And you were like, I know I'm not looking, I'm not watching. But on record, I'd like to say I didn't watch my first pornographic movie until I was age 19. Yeah, that was the first time I watched one of those. I might be lying, but that's what I remember right now. And I accidentally found it. I was living with my dad, and I don't know. I just happened to land on the couch. He was never home because he worked a 24-hour job as a firefighter. And I lift up the couch cushion, and I was like, the hell is this? And then it was one of those, and I was like, all right, let's put it in. And I put it in the VCR. It was a VCR at the time because he's old school. And I don't know. It was already, it was about 14 minutes in. It looked like that's all the time he needed. And I just watched the rest, and I was like, oh, my God. What am I witnessing right now? This is crazy. And then I was like, all right. And then I did it. I watched it again the next day, and then the next day after that, and then I watched it again. And I just kind of kept watching it. That was the only one. And they were older too. Man, maybe I'm traumatized in life. That's why I'm into like older women, because that was like what it was. But back to this. Everyone, I get it. OnlyFans is one of those things that made life very simple. It did. All you do now is you throw out a little money online, and they do tricks for the cash, and they might show you the feet if you're into that, or you might go to some woman who has an ankle page. I don't know. You just check out her ankles for $8 a month, and good for her. But I just don't want. I don't know if that's part of our world's evolution. I'm being judgy, and I'm okay. But listen, Susan, you're an accountant. You're doing well. You don't need it. Why you need the OnlyFans, Susan? Is that, if that's how you get off your sexuality and that makes you feel, who am I? Who am I to stop Susan from accounting, to block her sexuality? If that's how she's getting it out there, I've been, I'm on OnlyFans. They wanted me to do a little more, but it wasn't my flow, But who knows, man? Like, I don't know. I'm growing, and, I'm getting more in touch with my feelings and my emotions and stuff. Maybe OnlyFans on a very, I can't find the word right now, but maybe that's in my near future. Maybe that's the route to go. All right. I just want to share that really quick. Let's jump into this, you guys. You in these relationships, you guys, you never fail. Let's see what you're talking about today. I'm here to give the advice that might not always help the writer, but it might help you who are listening or watching, because we all need it. And I'm qualified. I'm qualified to give relationship advice because I have struggled for quite some time. I think now I'm wiser than I've ever been, but still might not be enough. All right, today's writer says, I had sex with my close friend. This is a woman. She had sex with her close friend, A guy. We agreed to stay friends, but I can't help but think about him all the time. I've known this friend for a bit, over a year now, and the incident happened in June when he visited me during my summer internship. Ooh, this is like a romance novel. On the morning of day three, when he came to my apartment, we didn't have anything to do. That's how I get started. I bet you he knew at that point. You know, you're going to spend time with a woman. Women are a lot of times like, oh man, he's just a good friend. He's just a great guy. The guy's like, I wonder if I can get it. Hey, let's get it. Open it up. Let's get it. Open it up. Let's get it. But then he comes in like, hey, how are you today? He was getting comfy and sleepy and said something along the lines of, I need to go to the living room because I'm having crazy thoughts about you. Like, I then held hands with him. He asked if I want to get closer, and we kissed and had sex. Ooh, you had to be feeling the same thing because you don't just throw lines out that as a guy unless you're feeling some type of energy. Or else, and I get it, we take a lot of risk, but to throw that out, you gave him something. I mean, maybe it was coming over to your house and having nothing to do. That is normally when these type of things happen. But I like him, man. He's 22. That's the kind of line a guy says, you know, I got to get out of here, girl. Girl, I got to get out of here because I'm just having thoughts in my head about you I just never thought I would have, girl. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself right now. I think I should just go 7-Eleven and get my butt out here because I don't even know why I'm feeling this way about you, girl. I don't even know. Like, I don't even understand, like, where these thoughts even come from, girl. Like, I don't even know like that. And she was like, oh, me. And that's when you held his hand, and then it went there. Immediately after we showered, however, he started telling me how it shouldn't have happened. What's wrong with him? It's called post-nut clarity. And wanted to make sure that we're still friends. Oh, that was dope. That was kind of, man, he a little savvy with it. He threw you through a roller coaster. He hit you with the spin cycle. He's like, I don't even know, like, I can't even be in the room with you feeling like this. Then y'all got closer, and then afterwards he's like, I don't know if we should have even did that because I don't want to lose what we have. So he just cut it off right there. He was like, this is not going to be more than what it was. We're still just friends. But we're going to do this every once in a while because I know you like it. All right. He says, telling me how it shouldn't happen and wanted to make sure that we're still friends. I asked if he wanted to continue to sleep together. He even told me that he has a crush on this different girl and is trying to ask her out. What an asshole! But guess what? That's who women are drawn to. They're drawn to the ones that they can't have. And this dude is playing he's playing a dirty deck. This dude brought out the dirty deck of cards and he's dealing the dirty deck. You telling me immediately after you guys have sex for the first time, he's like, you know, we shouldn't have did this. Why? Because there's someone else I'm interested in. You and I should just go back to friends. I want you to know, you that wrote this, there is nothing wrong with you. And you did what you felt in the moment. And that was an asshole move in the moment. But that's the situations you put yourselves in when you don't set boundaries or have guidelines or have your own personal rules. You need to have like things that you will do and you won't do so you don't have to make decisions on the spot. Life lesson. All right. He said that he asked me multiple times for my consent because he wanted to stop himself, but he did not have the self-control. The day before he said, I'm like a little sister to him. He has had hookups before, but they were planned. And this is the first time sex happened unexpectedly to him. In the next few days, he sent me a bunch of texts about how much he regrets about it and insists that we stay friends. Ugh. We have met twice since the incident. Once in September when he came back to the university and once earlier this month. In September, he said, I still turn him on, but he thinks that casual relationships are not for him and he wants a serious one. He's an international student. He must be from like Spain or something because they come over there with that little sexy Spain stuff. By the way, I'm going to Europe in April. If y'all know any good spots to eat, let me know. No, really, because I like food. All right. He says he's getting an internship is literally the most important thing on his mind right now. He's considered getting into a relationship with me, but decided that we're not there yet. But he also said he's thought so much about this only because I'm very important to him. You know, this guy is just too much. He's just a headache. Find yourself someone who's not going to play all these little dirty games with your mind. Be with someone who can just be someone that likes you and wants you and finds the time for you. That's what you want to be with. But oftentimes, people end up chasing what's not for them. All right, another story. What is this? Ooh, let's see. All right. How do I get over my husband's past sexual experiences? I don't know. My husband and I have been together for 7 years and we have 3 kids. Normal. Every few months, I'll randomly get upset about my husband's past. Usually happens after we had sex, and I would literally look at his penis and start to think about how it's been inside of 11 other people. Well, guess what? You're lucky it's only 11. And you're lucky since you've been together for the 7 years, the number's not up to 15, because that happens in a lot of relationships. And you can't get over it. Whew. You have no idea. I don't know where you're from, but only having 11 other vaginas in his sexual past, it's not that bad. All right. I'm not a slut-shamey kind of person, and I don't think the number necessarily matters. But I'll start to think about all their faces and get upset that nothing we have done has ever been exclusive to us. Well, why don't you pull out some trick you don't think he ever seen before? That will spice up your relationship every moment. That's how you spice it up. Start thinking, what has my husband never received? And even if he has, he's going to fake and act like he's doing it for the first time. And you're like, there's no way you could have done it because you've been with 11 other people. 11. Really? How do you guys feel about that? A man who's been with 11 people. How old is he? He's 29 years old. I guess it depends on the world you come from, but I don't know. 11? I'm sorry. That's just what I feel. I don't think that's a lot. Now, if she had been with 11, oh my Lord, you slut, you nasty, disgusting disgusting, nasty woman. How dare you do more than one? You're gross. Yuck. Ooh. All right. All right. Let's see. I wonder how fresh the memories are to him. And if he replays them in his head, he does. Okay? Unless you trying all that new stuff and he doesn't have time to even find that portion of the brain memory. Because if you're doing stuff and you're like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? He's like overwhelmed with just sexual ecstasy. It's probably an amazing thing you're doing if you're doing that. But if you're just like, I don't know, he's probably going to recall some of those experiences. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong if anyone uses things to get in the mood? Isn't that what you want in the wrong? You just want the physical connection, the mental connection as well. But I don't know. Is that a bad thing? If you guys watch the movie together and you guys think of a part of the movie? I don't know. Let's see. I was a virgin when I met him, so obviously that plays into it as well. All right. We found the core. We found the problem. You being a virgin. Now you just think this man is, I don't know, a superhero called Sex Man. I get it now because you were his first experience. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but one day you're going to start thinking of some more experiences that you wish to have. You're going to start seeing people and meeting people and thinking, I wonder how he would be. Yeah. And then one day you're going to be on that girls trip. You're going to be in another country and think, well, it doesn't even count because I'm out the country. And you're going to have one of the best nights of your life. And then you're never going to look at your husband the same. And you're going to be fanning yourself. And every time you're with your husband, that memory from Jamaica is going to pop in your head. And your husband's going to be so thankful. He's going to be like, what has gotten into you? And I don't remember his name, but you're going to be like, oh, nothing. What's going on? All right. She says, I want to get over it, but for his sake and my sake, but I'm at a loss of how. I usually manage to just shove it to the back of my brain and move on pretty quickly. But sometimes, shove it to the back of my brain. All right. But sometimes I'll go through periods of obsession where I start checking the women's Instagrams and such. Wait, hold on. Did he give you all of their names? What kind of weird relationship do you have? I've been to therapy for years and no methods have really helped me. Just wondering if anyone has similar experiences, or I want to read this again, or ideas on how to get over it. I normally ball them up. I'm saving this. This is good. What you need to do is refocus your brain. You just need to find Jesus, and you need to read the Bible constantly, and you need to read anything that takes your mind away from dwelling on that, because it's taking you to a terrible place. So I just want to let you know you're not alone. There's people that can't get over others' past, but dwelling on it is not the way to go. You got to do the opposite of that, which means understanding that we all have a past. We really all do. And if you cannot get over it, you need to figure that out, because you have 3 kids and you don't want your relationship ending because, I don't know, you have some type of OCD where you're focused on all another person's sexual experiences. All right. Well, you guys, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Stepfans and Chill. Today was not as chill, but that's fine too. It's like that sometimes. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening on all these platforms. Thank you for everyone that's hosting this and allowing it to happen. And wow. Catch up with me. I'm torn. I'm going to some big cities coming up. You can find it mostly on the website, bigassteeth.com. Find my Facebook, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Threads, all of this, Tumblr, whatever. Find that stuff. Thank you. And if you got any questions, go to my website and you can just send them in. It's that simple. I'll read it and I'll help you. All right, I'm out.